1,700 died. 750,000 were forced from their homes. And over $100 billion in damage began to unfold. I watched and I talked in my job as a political analyst on the radio, but I just knew somehow, honestly, deep inside for me, for Gary Dietrich, I had to do more. I said, I want to go. Not just as a broadcaster, not just to stand in knee-deep water and talk about how bad it is, but to roll up my sleeves and actually do something about it. I have an idea. And today, now, we come together as a community to protect our most vulnerable. It's a neighbor helping neighbor approach, and that's what's so different about it. It gives family, friends, and caregivers a greater sense of security going forward. And it takes some of the burden off guys like these, first responders, who we learned the hard way in Katrina get overwhelmed. It's too much for us to ask for them to evacuate tens of thousands of people in the first 24 or 48 hours.
With this program, we will be in a position where we will not be spending unnecessary resources at a home where the occupants have already gotten out safely.
One of the biggest problems in Katrina was, how do you find the vulnerable? And how do you know if they've been safely evacuated?
So here's really what kind of the foundation of the kit. People oftentimes look at this and say, I get it. The need help sign hangs on the outside of a door. When they're safely out, gets flipped over, and indeed, they know they're safely out. And down here, all the contact information. Who helped them get to a safe place so that down the road, a family member like me can find my mom who lives alone, God bless her, at 86 years old.
You know, sometimes the most sophisticated and complicated problem calls for the most simple solution. And when I heard about Safely Out program, that was the first thought that came to mind.
Today we're at Pride Industries, where they are assembling 40,000 Safely Out kits, and for the first time, 10,000 in Spanish.
I think this is an amazing, outstanding event, you know, that is kind of showcasing the power of communities working together, nonprofits like SF Card, World Vision, and of course Citizens Voice, really leading the way, saying, hey, communities need to be able to be prepared in times of disaster, and with these kinds of resources, we can be just that.
Over the last few years, I think we've learned as a nation that it's important to be prepared for any type of emergency. And so being able to get communities ready to have a plan for when an emergency strikes, to be able to take care of everybody, find out where everybody is, I think Safely Out's one of the best programs that there is to be able to do that.
I think it's a great way for individuals in this community to know what to do in case of disaster and emergency.
What I think Citizens Voice has been able to do is actually made preparedness very tangible to the everyday person. It's as simple as a wonderful toolkit that can be, you know, hung on your door, and you're being able to communicate with the outside world, you know, exactly what your needs are or aren't.
People like CalEMA, local governments, churches, nonprofits, private sector companies, the restoration industry, and others, to make sure that kits can be sponsored and get into the hands of the most vulnerable. Those are the folks we want to thank especially today.
Anytime we can partner with anyone in the community on getting that preparedness message out, we're all for it. This is a great program and something we were kind of in on from the beginning.
There's lots of ways to get involved to make Safely Out what it really can be. Remember, our goal, 1 million Safely Out kits in California en route to 10 million nationwide. Believe it or not, we've already had people internationally excited about when we're going to bring Safely Out to other parts of the world.